Right, as if the UK government has not rinsed everyone enough, they're now looking to raise council tax by 25% in some cases. This is mental, obviously. We're taxed to oblivion in the UK. They want to tax us some more. So we get taxed out the arse on our paycheck. Now we get taxed out the arse for local councils, which I don't see the benefit. I've got potholes all in my roads. The lighting, like, they don't clean up the place. They don't mow the place. There are... I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I've got disgusting vape shops and Turkish barbers popped up on my local high street. They should never have been approved. What benefit are they providing the local town? None. Turkish barbers, if you didn't know, in the UK, for those watching from the States, are a front, obviously, for anyone with a brain, to money launder. That's what they are. Or launder money, should I say. But anyway, this dropped today, and has obviously got everyone in a bit of a tailspin. Exclusive. 4 million households face council tax rises up to 5 times the legal limit from April as bankrupt local authorities look to exploit loophole to plug black holes in their books. Now, if you look at this, it actually comes down to incompetence. Some of this is incompetence. Amazing. Let's take a look. Oh, hit subscribe if you are new here, or indeed you're a returning viewer that's not yet subscribed. I do videos on a multitude of things, and this is going to be one of them. So check it out if you enjoy this. So more than 4 million people are facing punishing council tax rises above the maximum normally allowed by law. Householders in one area could see their bills hiked by 25%, the largest increase in England for 2 decades. 7 other struggling councils around the country have proposed huge rises of between 9.99 and 15% from April as they look to exploit a legal loophole, piling pressure on already under strain domestic finances. Because remember, guys, you can't hate governments enough, and a council is a local government. Can't hate them enough. Can't hate them. Honestly, you just can't hate them enough. Local authorities are permitted to raise council tax by up to 4.99% under government rules. Any larger increases than this would normally have to be approved by a referendum of local taxpayers. Perfectly reasonable. But wait. Something that's never happened because councillors know how unpopular the move would be. But councils can exploit a legal loophole with the threat of issuing a so-called Section 114 notice, effectively declaring themselves bankrupt and allowing them to go for higher rises, which would be signed off by Angela Rayner in her role as Secretary of State for Housing. So, if you declare bankruptcy as a council, surely you all should be fired, no? Especially if you were in the role, because obviously local elections happen, but surely if you were in the role which led up to this bankruptcy notice, you should be fired, right? No, of course not. No accountability. So some 4.4 million residents in 8 local authorities are set to suffer this fate, a Mail audit has uncovered, sparking new questions over the mismanagement of public money. Benjamin Elks from the Taxpayers Alliance group said, local taxpayers are fed up with having to pick up the tab for reckless councils. Reckless councils who pay themselves incredible pensions. And there's a lot of sort of cronyism in local councils. People will get hired, they'll get promoted or they'll get pushed into council roles so they can secure a pension, and then they're gone within several years. They do the job for several years and then they secure a massive state pension. It's huge. It's crazy. Lots of cronyism. I remember my local council, they said that they were going to raise council tax. Obviously, they do every single year. But I was thinking to myself, what am I paying for? The local binman been on strike several times in the last year. I couldn't get my bins picked up for several weeks. Like, what was my council tax going to? Oh, I know. Fucking Pride Parade that was thrown in my local town. Disgusting. As hard work, and I say disgusting because it's a local countryside town, it doesn't need a Pride Parade. This is nonsense. I don't approve of my money being spent on this utter garbage. It is genuinely shit. As hard-working households across the country tighten their belts, local authorities are refusing to rein in their out-of-control spending, squandering cash on pointless pet projects. Yep, it's high time town halls focused on delivering core services effectively, not asking local residents to keep funding their dangerous addiction to spending. 154,000 residents of the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead in Berkshire, which includes the royal family on the Windsor estate, are facing the biggest council tax rise in the country, 5 times the usual maximum, which would add £451 to the average cost. I mean, this is mental. A Lib Dem-run local authority is looking to force through a 25% increase, which would be the largest for 2 decades in England if ultimately approved by ministers. Tory opposition leader, Councillor Maureen Hunt, said, "Residents are up in arms. This is a huge amount to increase tax by during a cost of living crisis. It's heartbreaking for many and a very drastic increase. It's just unacceptable." Labour's flagship local authority, Birmingham is basically a third world shithole in the UK, and they effectively declared bankruptcy last year. Any guesses to what the makeup of Birmingham is? It's not generally speaking English people. Controversial, I know, but you know, there is a culture there, it seems. But anyway, Birmingham is going to be raising council tax by 9.99% for a second consecutive year as it tries to recover from disastrous handling of its finances in the past. How about you fire everyone that was involved in the finance handling? Huh? How about everyone just gets fired? How about you cut everyone's pension? Why are we paying for people to receive incredible state pensions when they're fundamentally failed society? Why? This is ridiculous. It's utterly absurd. So if the rise goes ahead, then Band D council taxpayers in England's second biggest city, will see their bills rise by a combined £400 over the 2-year period. Labour-run Bradford Council. This is amazing. All these places that they're stating. Birmingham, Bradford. Again, I mean, not the Berkshire one, not Windsor, but Birmingham and Bradford. The sort of makeup of those areas. Makes you wonder how many people are actually, and what people are paying council tax. Because a lot of those people won't be working. But anyway, whatever. So Bradford Council, which was bailed out by the government to the tune of £220 million last year, is currently the UK City of Culture. I mean, is that a piss take, mate? It's the City of Culture. What culture? Has also asked for permission to increase tax by up to 15% from April for its 560,000 residents, putting around £170 on the average bill. In December, Lib Dem-led North Somerset Council also proposed a 15% rise in council tax, putting it up by an average of £256 a year, as well as asking its 215,000 residents if they would donate £1,000 to help fill the authority's multi-million funding gap. Are you mental? Fire the majority of people that work for you. Fire them. Stop increasing the size of the state. God, the UK's economy is a fucking shambles. Hampshire County Council, which faces a £182 million deficit and has 1.4 million residents, has asked ministers for permission to hike council tax by 15%, which would add £230 to the bill of a Band D property. If you have 1.4 million residents, how do you have a £182 million deficit? In a letter to county councillors, the authority's chief executive, Caroline Williamson, said the request is a proactive, preemptive step by the council to secure greater resilience. No, you just want to fucking rinse everyone. By 26-27, she said the prospect of having to issue a Section 114 notice becomes a real possibility if there are no deep-seated changes by the way local government is funded. then abolish it. How about we just do that? How about we just abolish all local government? If you can't manage your finances properly and we're being rinsed of cash, just abolish it all. Huge rises are also being planned by the London Borough of Newham, the Labour and Independent coalition of Cheshire, East and Tory-run Slough, which has already hiked by more than 5% for the last 2 years. Amazing, this is great. So a spokesperson for the Local Government Association says many councils have faced the tough choice about whether to increase bills to bring in desperately needed funding to provide services at a time when they are acutely aware of the significant burden that could place on households. However, while council tax is an important funding stream, the significant financial pressures facing local services cannot be met by council tax income alone. It also raises different amounts in different parts of the country, unrelated to need. Councils need a significant change in our funding to stabilise local government finances so we can deliver the services local people want to see. Well, I want to see more police on the street. I want to see my bins picked up on time, and I want to see the streets nice and clear. I don't really care about pride parades or diversity, equity and inclusion nonsense within the local council, and I don't really give a shit about nonsense pet projects and little things that councils get, throw on. I think a local community with money and social cohesion could put those things on. Local council's not really that good for doing that. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government said no decisions have been made on council tax increases, and we will only consider agreeing to requests for rises above 5% in exceptional circumstances, in line with the previous government's position. Councils are ultimately responsible for setting their own council tax, and we will put taxpayers at the forefront of any decision. Yeah, well, we'll see how this ages, I guess. I bet you anything, some of these will be going up for sure. I mean, this is mental. This is legitimately actually mental. There is no sane reason why people would be happy with this or approve of this. This is just nonsense. It's mental. We get taxed to oblivion in the UK, and something's going to snap eventually. You can't keep taking... Rachel Reeves, Rachel from Accounts, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, needs to realise that we are the economy. We, the people, are the economy. If we don't have money, we're not going to spend anything. Thus, the economy tanks. So give us some money. The stuff that we rightfully earn that you're just stealing from us. But there you go. If you live in any of those areas, I do apologise. It sucks to be you, I guess. Thankfully, I don't. But I'm sure my council tax will still go up, even though my local council, is in profit. Good times. Let me know what you think down below. Again, please do hit subscribe. Let's help grow this channel. I really would appreciate it, especially if you enjoyed this no-nonsense approach to this news in the UK. Take care. Bye-bye now.